Hey guys, welcome to Flat Top King. Hey, today it's all about how to cook on the flat top grill for beginners. Let's get started. Well, here we are. It's after Christmas, it's after a birthday, it's after Father's Day. Whatever day it is for you, you've got your flat top grill, okay? You've done tons and tons of research online. How to season your flat top grill. What cool gadgets can I get from a flat top grill? What all is a flat top grill? You've done your research and you've landed on this page. So today we're going over some very basics just to look out for, especially for the beginners. Everything you need to know to start off your journey and be successful. What we're doing today is chicken thighs. Why chicken thighs? You really can't overcook them. They're extremely, I wouldn't say cheap, but valuable for the price.
They're not cheap anymore.
That's right, but we just get them for like 89 cents. I think, what'd you spend, $1.99?
$1.89.
$1.89 for these suckers. This is almost as expensive as caviar lately. All right, they are extremely forgiving when it comes to cooking. They also are able to absorb a lot of extra flavor that we give them, whether it be a dry rub, a marinade, a basting. It really just is basically a foundation for all flavors. And lastly, if done correctly, the chicken thighs are going to be a great opportunity, especially for beginners, to understand what happens on the flat top. We're going to go over all this information, but it starts right here with this marinade. This marinade is just a simple teriyaki marinade. It's just soy sauce, garlic, ginger, sriracha,
Orange juice?
orange marmalade jelly instead of orange juice. I did have that. I put honey and brown sugar in it. That's going to act as the sweetness, okay? Just like you would your hibachi. That's the same idea here, okay? Over here, I've got two plain thighs, nothing on them. We're going to baste them in a sugary barbecue sauce. We're going to see how that comes out. The second is just a regular seasoned chicken thigh combination. It's one of my favorite seasonings. You guys use whatever you like to do. And lastly, I've seasoned 2 chicken thighs with barbecue seasoning. Typically, a barbecue seasoning is naturally going to have sugar in it. So what I'm going to do today is basically explore all the avenues of what each piece of meat will represent through your cooking process. The best thing you can do is when you first get your flat top, don't panic. Do what you know how to do. If you're comfortable with eggs and bacon and pancakes, if you're comfortable with just throwing some burgers on, hot dogs, it doesn't matter. Get comfortable with all the settings. Get comfortable with your new tools and gadgets. Find out which ones you guys like best. The last thing you want to do is be a beginner to the flat top community. Bring everybody over and just destroy a hibachi. That's not what we're trying to do today, all right? When we're talking about gadgets, I'm going to list the link right here. It's my personal must-haves, but basically it's just an overall view of what you really need to have versus what you could buy later down the road. All right, so first things first, you always want to turn your flat top on and off at the source. I stress that all the time just because you don't want your gas to be on while you're inside the house or anything like that. So anytime I turn my flat top on or off, I'm always doing it by the source. You want to make sure you preheat on low. Camp Chef recommends it. After being part of the Facebook group, Camp Chef Griddle Owners, and shameless plug, we just started our own Facebook group and page. So if you guys want more direct contact, if you guys have questions or anything like that, our group is called the Griddle Group by the Flat Top King. It's open to anybody and everybody. I don't care if you've got a Blackstone. I don't care if you've got a Camp Chef. I don't care if you handmade one of these bad boys. It's just about a community to where people can share recipes, share goods and bads, and their thoughts about recipes and all that stuff. The reason why I mention that is because if you notice, a lot of people on there will complain that their flat top grill has warped. A lot of people will say preheat on low and bring the temperature of the steel up. That's very important, okay? That's probably rule number 1 for flat top grill cooking. Preheat on low and adjust your temperature accordingly. I'm shooting about 350 to 375. We'll go over temperatures in a minute. I'm just going to go skin side down really quick.
Oh, that smells good.
All right, so with our plain Jane doohickeys here, chicken thighs, these are gonna be basted in barbecue sauce, but we're not going to do it till later because we know that the barbecue sauce will burn on the flat top if done too long, okay? These are gonna be our dry chicken thighs. These are just seasoned, like I said, with my favorite seasoning. And these are the barbecue chicken thighs that we're going to end up basting later. One other thing to mention about chicken thighs, the reason why we've got them scattered out like this, because I want to address the temperature part. As you can see right here, our sauce, since it is sugary, is already starting to caramelize. And that is going to produce, one, a cleaning problem later down the road when we start to clean our flat top. And two, do you notice how there's not a lot of bubbles coming out from this? When you add anything with a lot of sauce, with a lot of liquid, like hibachi is the one that I keep coming back to because it's used so common. The point is, it's going to lower your flat top temperature dramatically. So you can adjust your knobs a little bit, but not too much. I'd recommend never going on high. The point is just be patient. You can move stuff on and off new sections. So let's see right here. See how this section's dry? See how calm this is? Watch what happens when you move it. You hear that? Yep. All right. That's because the area right here has cooled down. So that's just kind of a tip right there. I've got a huge playlist, like I said. One of them is tips and tricks. We can post that video right there for you. Everything you need to know about all the cool things to do on the flat top grill. Just real quickly back to chicken. One benefit of doing it if you're new is you learn the zones of temperatures, right? You'll know that maybe the right side of your flat top gets hotter than maybe than the left side, or you'll notice that the back side and the front side are cool zones. Alrighty, so now's about the time I'm gonna start flipping, okay? We're gonna see that,
oh, sorry.
Bless you. We're gonna see the different stages of what I was talking about, okay? When it's just no seasoning and you can baste later, see how nice and crisp our skin's getting? There's not a lot of browning. See that? That's perfect, okay? This is my favorite seasoning right here. See how we're getting a nice crust with that seasoning? Not too bad, okay? Now this is with the barbecue seasoning. This is where it has the natural sugars, or not natural, but added sugars for seasoning. See the difference? Light, medium, dark. You see that? That's starting to caramelize. The reason why I did this is to show you that sometimes adding barbecue seasoning to a large chunk of meat is not the right idea. You might want to wait till a little bit later to adjust your colors, to adjust for colors and the caramelization of the seasoning. Now, lastly, is probably the most important. I'm so glad I did this because I started cleaning just out of habit like this, right? I'm just pushing all the sauce back over into the chicken thighs. You see those little brown specks? This is the sugars that are caramelizing on the flat top. See how I'm pulling it? You see that? That's the sugars. This is what makes cleaning your flat top so horrible. And that's why I always stress in a list of my videos to clean as you go, to move stuff over, take a good bench scraper, and go ahead and clean it, and then move stuff back, okay? So what I mean by that is, let's say you just move them up here, right? All this area is full of sugar. So just go ahead and scrape the sugar off. You see that building up? If you don't take care of it now, it's just gonna, golly, it's so hard to clean up later. So you try to get the sugars off as much as you can. And while it's still hot and not cooled down, We'll put that right in your grease trough.
And you do that same thing like when you're making hibachi. You scoot everything over to one side and then you scrape it down to clean it.
Heck, I do it often. Like even burgers, I do it as soon as I flip the burgers to a new spot. I'll go ahead and clean that section. Cleaning as you go to me is really important. For flat top grill beginners, if you can learn how to clean as you go, then literally when it's time to eat, you're not stuck at the flat top cleaning everything up and worried about re-seasoning and all that stuff while your family's enjoying the dinner. Just to give you guys a quick idea, I did not mention this in the 7 must-haves because I don't think it's 100% necessary to have as soon as you get your flat top grill. Some of you that have not really cooked on this or have any idea what to expect, you're already overloaded with all this information that you've gathered from the internet, from your friends, looking online, whatever. So I try to keep it simple. We have a video called Does Temperature Matter on the flat top grill, and I'd highly recommend you guys watching it because I think it'll calm your nerves. It will show example after example after example of it really just doesn't matter as long as you understand the ups and downs of your flat top. And the more knowledge you have before you start flat top grilling, the faster the success will come. I probably didn't mention this when we started. You'll notice that I didn't add any oils or any butters down before I added the chicken thighs. Basically because chicken thighs are just wrapped in fat anyway. So you're literally using their natural fat as a lubricant on your griddle anyway. So some things you would want to obviously add oils, potatoes, vegetables, anything like that. But since it's wrapped already in fat, you really don't have to worry about it. It's another reason why I like to use it, especially if you're learning how to cook. All right. So when I told you that I felt confident we're going to burn one, is because this right here. Light, medium, dark, and we got the teriyaki going over here. So I'm going to add the barbecue sauce now. And what's going to happen is this barbecue sauce is literally going to cook at a faster pace than the teriyaki sauce because there's just so much sugar in most barbecue sauce. And the only reason why I'm doing that when you're beginning, you want to understand the priorities, that's probably not the word, the pace of your flat top grill I think is very important. Here's another example. If you come out here and put eggs on your flat top grill right away, but you got bacon to cook, what's going to happen to your eggs? They're going to sit there for 30, 45 minutes before your bacon cooks, right? So you would obviously want to cook your bacon first. What if you got pancakes? So there's a natural order of way things need to be cooked to make sure they're fresh as possible. Same thing with this. There's almost like a natural order of what to do and not to do, especially on the grill. And them bad boys are looking good. All right, I'm just moving them around to make sure they're not sticking. I'm gonna go ahead and turn them over one more time. This absolutely was in my must-haves, okay? The reason is because I honestly, deep down, feel like this is more important than any other thermometer you'll have. Because this reads the internal thermometer of your food.
Internal temp.
What else say?
Thermometer.
Yeah, this is an internal thermometer that will reach the temperature inside the food. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter if you're cooking at 375, 350, 275, or 400. What's important is you get the temperature done the way you like it. You're having a steak, you're having friends over, heck, you're throwing a block party. You don't want overcooked steak, or you don't want undercooked steak. So let me just show you how easy it is. Super fine tip. Just poke it right in. Very quickly will give you a constant temperature, and you can check multiple pieces. Right?
And that is important, especially when you're cooking chicken, to check multiple pieces.
Absolutely, because I'm glad you said that. You took the words out of my mouth. Because while we're doing this, you are going to notice that there's going to be hot spots here, hot spots there. Well, if your chicken happens to land on a hot spot all the time, like down here would be a cold zone, right? So the chicken here is definitely going to cook faster than the chicken here. So if you don't check all your chickens or anything that you have on the flat top, then you're not going to have an accurate reading of what the temperature is. So what we're going to do now is just keep moving forward. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over and we're gonna see the process.
So we're burning that intentionally, just so you can see.
Yeah, I'm not a bad cook, I promise. I'm trying to let you guys see start to finish the ebb and flow of goods and bads of what can happen. All right, now that we're starting to get some color on our chicken, you guys can definitely see what's happening. Golden brown, even my favorite seasoning is starting to burn. I probably should have flipped it a little bit more, but I've been worried about scraping and the barbecue sauce, but I just want to show you real quick. So this is the barbecue seasoning, and look what happened. I mean, this has been on here less than 5 minutes.
Yep.
Probably less than 5 minutes. You guys see that?
Ooh, splatter.
That's what the barbecue sauce does. And then your chicken is cooking in all that nastiness. So that's why I'm telling you about the ebb and flows. So you're saying, well, if it's going to burn that quick, then why put it on there? You can put it on there. You just going to rotate it. We'll show you that with the dry chicken thighs. One thing I forgot to mention, I haven't mentioned it several times before, especially in all the videos you guys are going to be going back and forth with. If you're brand new to griddling, especially with a camp chef, just be very careful. The sides get extremely hot. That's where the fire and the wind and all that stuff comes out. So you wouldn't want to put plastic bottles or Tupperware dishes or paper towels or anything like that around the edges, okay? Just remember that. So my chicken thighs are finishing up. This is just a dome system. You can find all my accessories in the must-haves. I'd highly recommend something like this or anything similar. This is just going to speed up the process. I pushed everything over to the right. So this is the clean up process. When you're talking about seasoning your flat top and keeping it seasoned, you can do it before a cook, in the cook, or after the cook. You guys will learn all about that. Since this has had so much gunk on it and so much crap, I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly add a little bit of oil. This steam, oh yeah, what I said, oil? Yeah, it's water, I promise it's water. The steam is gonna allow some of those sugars and stuff to release from the flat top, okay? See all that food debris coming up? Look at all that sugar I've been grabbing up from the flat top. That's why you want to go ahead and get it off while you're cleaning as you go, because you don't want that stuff to still be cooking on your flat top an hour or 30 minutes after you start it. See how there's no more browns? You see that, honey?
Yep.
That's because we did a good job of cleaning as we go. Okay.
And that's just regular paper towels.
Just regular paper towels. Probably come over here to see some of the gunk. Just a little bit more water. Please be careful if you're watching this. Steam as hot as can be. So this side of the flat top is clean, okay? What we'll do now, one last flip. This would be the time to add your barbecue sauce when your chicken's done. I've got about 3 to 4 more degrees to go, not a lot. So what we're gonna do is just do that. And then what I can do is just flip it over, let it sit in the barbecue sauce, and come back over and do it like this. One thing that I'm really big on, okay, is go ahead and turn it off your switches right now. Turn it off at the source. Just to give you an example, your flat top is screaming. It's about 420, 440, 450. That's just where we cleaned it up, 350. That gives you an idea that your temperature can drop on the flat top. even, 6 inches away. Why do I do that? It allows your food to calm down. It allows the flat top to calm down, so you're not trying to clean a screaming hot flat top. If you notice sometimes when you cook something on the stove and you'll do a vegetable or something like that, and you'll notice once you take it off the heat, there's a lot of moisture. Well, that moisture is the same thing as this. So if you can lower your flat top temperature, the moisture will actually help you start cleaning your flat top before you even know it, because the moisture will start releasing. Same thing with this. Cut your flat top off. There's plenty of residual heat, and it'll give us over the hump. If you're worried about cleaning your flat top, I just look at it like this. There's 3 ways to season your flat top: before, during, after, or re-season. There's also 3 ways or 3 ideas to clean your flat top. If you're doing quesadillas and you're just like, you've already got your stuff warmed up and you throw some tortillas down, some butter, just take a paper towel when you're done, just wipe it off. No reason to add water, to do anything else. You really didn't hurt the flat top. If you're coming out here and just throwing a couple eggs, a little bit of bacon down, not a big deal. After you're done, use that bacon grease, wipe your flat top off, you're good to go. That's kind of like at the low tier. The medium tier would be kind of like a burger, kind of like a piece of fish, kind of like just a couple pieces of chicken breast, right? Doesn't cook like a long time, but you still got some bark building up on your crust. The flat top's been on a little bit. That'd be the time to make sure that you go ahead and get all the, I love my bench scraper, but that'd be the time to get your fond or your food particles off the flat top. Go ahead and give it a good scrape. Depending on what kind of flavor profile you're using would probably depend on if you want to add water. If you're using something super spicy and you're coming out the next day to do like French toast, you really would probably want to get that flavor profile off. And last and not least is heavy duty. So heavy duty is serious. It's like your hibachis with anything sugary, buffalo chicken wings, barbecue sauces, anything that's got a lot of sugar, anything that's on the flat top for a long time is a good time to go ahead and clean it. And cleaning it is when you add water, release the food particles, and you're basically not necessarily starting over from zero, but you're going to have to apply another thin layer of oil to it. So you guys can see that my flat top's definitely cooling down, not a lot of sizzle.
And you have a whole video all about cleaning your flat top that goes more in depth.
It does. Got a video for everything. That's why we did this video here, to try to give you guys a library of everything you need to do, almost like griddling 101 per se, okay? So I'm just gonna show you. If I didn't have the barbecue sauce and the barbecue seasoning on the chicken, all that chicken fat, all it did was create a very, very good patina for me. And I would just wipe it off just like this and leave it. See how rough that is? That's from all the sugars and stuff. See how nice and easy and fresh that is? And slick? That's a good patina. That's because this was really aggressively done by those sugars.
You should mention too that they don't need to panic if they start getting like brown spots. It's not rust.
No, it's just your seasoning coming off, and we talk about that during the re-seasoning process. When you reapply oil, just be very careful. This is a hot flat top. You're going to push oil in the corners, and the oil can hit the corners and splatter and hit you in the thumb. If you're not careful and you're going around the edges, the side of your hand could hit these. These get hot as well. So you just want to be very careful. Just apply a thin layer of oil. You don't want it gunked up. You don't want it too heavy. Just a light coat of oil while it's still warm. The pores of the metal are still open. And because we're teaching you guys how to clean as you go, if I wasn't filming, it gives me enough time for my meat to rest, and typically about 5 to 10 minutes. Once your meat's rested, I'm good to go because your flat top's clean and you can enjoy dinner with the family. So let's just recap. We've got everything you need to know. The first thing I'll tell you is just be calm. Don't worry. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. Just learn the griddle. Learn all the accessories that come with it. It's like the fun process. That's 1. 2, let's talk about temps. We got that video. 3, What about your must-haves? We got that covered. 4, how to reseason, when to reseason, why to reseason. We got that covered. And 5, tips and tricks.
We got a whole bunch of videos for
whatever you guys need to know, look it up. If it's not in there, reach out to us, whether it be on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button. Welcome to the family. Peace.